Thanks for joining me here today, Gary. So Gary is known as Gary Feasts on Instagram, right? And G Hardy on Dining Caddy.
That's it.
So, but anyway, the way we met was kind of interesting. It was 5 or 6 months ago, right? Yeah. And so tell me a little story about how we met first for the audience.
Okay, so Matt Roberto's, it's usually one of my go-to spots, and I pull in there, and I started following Dining Caddy a couple months ago. I don't even know how I stumbled upon you, but just, know some similar circles, and so I started following it, like to see what people are going to, and so I pull into Roberto's, I see his car, and I was like, oh, I should message him, be like, hey, I just saw your car, and so messaged you, and kind of started talking.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty funny. Like when I got that message, that was like validation for everything that I've been working towards with Dining Caddy. Like, for example, so I got that car wrapped probably a month, maybe 2 months before you saw it. And so I was very kind of conscious about whether or not people saw it, if it had any value. And so you messaged me right at the right time, like when I was feeling like the most anxious about it. And so it kind of put my mind at ease. So it was perfect timing. It was great. And then not only did we have a connection of food on Instagram, but then what was the other connection that you found later on?
Yeah, so I work in real estate, and I'm randomly looking at this house that's listed for sale in a neighborhood that means a lot to our families. Is right by the Siegfried and Roy mansion, right off of Vegas Drive. And also, so I'm clicking on this house. I'm like, oh, it's Steve Wagner. I'm like, oh, what are the odds? I just met Dave Wagner like a couple weeks ago. And then I was like, I'll bet that's related. And so then I pulled up the history of the deed, and it's got like Woody and Darlene Wagner. I'm like, oh, cool. And so I messaged my dad. I'm like, hey, do you know, Woodruff Wagner or a Steve Wagner? And he's like, is it Woody? I'm like, oh, sure. I don't know. Woody Wagner, Steve Wagner. And so then he's like, yeah, I grew up with them. He's like, what's funny is like when you mentioned Steve, he's like, Steve was a little bit older than me, and he was like too cool. So he's like, I kind of didn't like him. He's like, I didn't really notice him, but I know him. But he's like, I just didn't really like him because we never like knew each other or whatever.
Yeah, so. That's pretty funny. So I didn't know that part about you looking up the deed and stuff like that. That's cool. Like I didn't realize how detailed it was because like you just told me you had a conversation with your dad and that you made a connection to my family, and so that was like kind of cool. But that home that you looked up, that was actually the home of my grandparents, and so my dad grew up there, and like you said, Siegfried and Roy. They had a mansion right down the street. And I remember as a kid, going to my grandparents' house and you'd hear the roar of the lions and the tigers or whatever that they had going on in their backyard. And you could hear it in the mornings. Like they'd usually only kind of like yawn or growl in the morning.
Right.
And that was the only time we'd hear it. But, that was an awesome connection. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I got a little addition to this connection too. So yesterday I'm out lunch with my dad, and I was telling him, I was like, oh, hey, had lunch again with Dave, and he's like, all right, I got another little something that I didn't share with you last time. I'm like, what? And he's like, I was engaged to his Aunt Shelly. I'm like, stop. Why did you not tell me that? He's like, yeah. He's like, for sure. He's like, you should reveal this on the podcast. But he's like, yeah, I was engaged to his aunt. So hey, there you go.
Funny. See, that another connection, right?
Yep.
That is so cool. I'm gonna have to share that with my dad. He'll get a crack up out of that. That's cool. So so my Aunt Shelly. So that's unique. Didn't know that. So anyway, what brought us together was food. Like I followed you because of food, and you followed me because of food. And then we met at a Roberto's taco shop, and then everything else, and we've gone out to eat several times. But what's your main passion for food? Like what why do you go out to eat as much as you do, and how often do you go out to eat?
Good question. So my passion for food started with being like, this is gonna sound bad, but being trapped in Vegas. So I grew up here and I wanted to kind of get away from here. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move away. Went to college, not here in town. And then my wife ended up getting a job back here in town. And so I was like, oh, it's no big deal. It's still just a little stay. And then I graduated from UNLV, and I was like, all right, here's my chance. So I applied for like 73 jobs, none of them in Las Vegas. I was not going to stay here. And then nothing was hitting right. So I applied for one in Las Vegas. Wouldn't believe it. I got the job. So ended up staying here. And it's not that I have like a hate for Las Vegas at all. It was just like, I wanted some more experiences. I wanted to change. And so because that didn't happen, I kind of was like, all right, well, I need to have a better outlook of, optimism of living here. And so that's when I started realizing that one of the things I love about Vegas is we have amazing food. We have places that are, a lot of times they're in 3 locations in the United States. It'll be like, Los Angeles, San Francisco, or New York, or Las Vegas.
Right.
And so that was kind of where it started. I was like, all right, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to take advantage of being here.
Hey, I really like that you said you found a passion for something. So the universe was obviously telling you needed to stay. I mean, you've got deep roots here. You and I are both, old school Vegas. Our dads grew up here. Our grandparents were here. So we kind of have our roots in Vegas. And so I can definitely relate to wanting to get out or experience something new. But like the unique thing about Vegas is you get a world of experience. Like it's like a giant melting pot. Like people come here from all over the world to live and to build a life. And so they bring their culture with them. Like I've always kind of felt like Vegas doesn't necessarily have a culture, but we are cultured in the sense that there's just so many people from so many different backgrounds.
Yeah, well said. And to answer your question about how many times I eat out a week, I would say it averages 3.
3?
Sometimes it might be a little bit more. Sometimes it might just be, hey, ate out once that week. But yeah, I would say I eat out 3 times a week.
So I've been lucky enough to go to lunch with you, so I've seen your spreads. So me and you have a little similar habit that we order everything off the menu. We don't just order, one item. So tell me a little bit about that. Like, what is when you pick a restaurant? Why like for one, why do you pick it? And what do you like to try? Like what's your go-to items?
So I guess one of the things that I'll consider at a restaurant is, I want to see, does it already have good reviews? There's so many restaurants that you can't just only go to new ones, right? And so sometimes I'll do that. And sometimes I won't. I'll be like, hey, let's not look at the reviews and let's just go and have an unbiased look and I'll give it a try. And then one of my problems is that because there are so many restaurants, the reason why I want to order it all is I'm like, okay, here's my shot. I might never come back here again.
Right.
Let's get a good sampling of what their food is. You know what I mean? And if I've gotten, so usually I won't go somewhere and I'll get at least 2 items. Like even if I'm not even that hungry, I'm like, all right, at least get 2 items and I'll take it back and I'll share it with somebody else, whatever. So, but yeah, usually that's what's fun about when we go out together is we like to really, I call it full send. Just order what they got.
Yeah, I mean, we went to Voodoo Wing Company, and that place had, 11 different sauces, and we got like 48 wings and boneless wings, and we just tried all the sauces, and I have my opinions of some of the sauces. I won't say which one.
Teriyaki.
It's true. That one was terrible. So they need to redo that one. Let's talk a little bit about your experience in the world with dining and foodie apps in general, like Instagram, Yelp, Google, whatever. Which platforms are you on, and what's your experience with those platforms?
So I pretty much stick to just 2 platforms. It's Instagram and Yelp. And Yelp is good, but I feel like it's too controlled. I feel like, people could delete your stuff, people could change your stuff, or it can be hidden. And so I like Instagram in that I can choose who I want to follow. They get to post what they want to post. And so, yeah, I pretty much just stick to those two apps.
Yeah, so Instagram has more of like the social media standpoint. So unless you're posting something inappropriate or illegal, you're pretty much not going to get blocked. And so you can be free to post everything, and it just kind of stays there. Whereas you're saying on Yelp, it kind of disappears sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes if you wanted to leave a let's just say a bad review, a 1-star review, it can get just buried into a place that has 1,000 reviews, and you may not see it, or even to click on it, it's tough to see. Whereas on Instagram, I like that you can see what people are eating. You can see whether they're liking it or not, and so yeah, I tend to kind of lean towards Instagram for that reason.
So more social media based.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's jump in a little bit to the Dining Caddy app. So Dining Caddy is a social media vertical. So we are a niche market specifically for foodies. So we're a social media app for foodies to be able to share videos and photos of their dining experiences and things like that. Do you think, in your experience so far, that Dining Caddy has been helpful, and in what ways so far from what you've experienced?
Yes, and I'm not saying this to flatter you, but I think Dining Caddy was what I was looking for that I didn't know I was looking for. It seems like it's the perfect mix of Instagram and Yelp. You get a little bit of the ratings, like the business feel with a little bit of the social media feel. And so my first experiences with it were really good in that you can see a picture of the food, see where it's located, see how far it's located from you, and then you get a rating. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit like Yelp in that, hey, there's just a rating, whereas plenty of stuff on social media is just, oh, it's good. Oh, this is amazing. And so it's like, well, what does that mean? And so I think it was just the perfect pairing.
Oh, well, thank you. Huge compliment. I appreciate that. Now, obviously, you're using the app in its current form, which is pre-launch.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually going to get an update on May 15th. So what is that, in like 10 days?
Yeah.
So May 15th is going to be the next rollout of new features. But before we discuss the new features that are going to come out, why don't you share, in your experience from Dining Caddy, Yelp, and Instagram in its current forms, what is missing and what would you like to see that would help you as a foodie that likes to share where and what to eat? Kind of share what you're looking for that doesn't exist yet.
The biggest thing that stands out when you ask that is just knowing what to eat next. So with Yelp, it's like sometimes it helps that if you're looking at a place, it'll be like, oh, hey, you were looking at this place. But it doesn't always do it, and it doesn't always do it at the right time. And so one of the things that was that kind of works with Instagram is like, let's just say I'm like, oh, I want to go try this place. I'll maybe follow them. But if they're like not active on social media, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean?
They get buried.
Where one of the things that I think I want and I'm excited for is just being able to be like, okay, I want to go here. Let me store it away where I can find it easily. So let's just say I'm around that area and I'm like, all right, what's some place that's maybe around here that I know I already want to try. And if there's an app for that, boom, then I can go. I don't have to spend time looking for that.
Well, so that is exactly what Dining Caddy is bringing to the table next. So on the 15th, I'm going to send it to you that day, so you'll get it. We're going to have a bookmark feature where you're going to be able to bookmark all the places that you want to try. And then after you've tried them out, you can just de-bookmark it, and it'll take it off the list. Or you could keep it in there if you just want to have a reminder. So let's just talk about some of the features that Dining Caddy will have. So the things that we're getting next is the ability to post videos. So like Instagram, you'll be able to post videos of your dining experiences. You'll be able to post multiple photos. So you'll be able to. So in its current form, you can only post one photo, and I felt like that is just a detriment to the experience because like a lot of the places that I've tried just from following you, like Bahamar tacos, like that place, I saw your post and I filtered through the pictures that you had, or like when we went to Calabash, like we posted multiple pictures on Instagram, and I felt like that was something that we needed to bring to Dining Caddy, and so we brought that over. And there's just a lot of things that so everybody on Dining Caddy has a profile, and so the way the profile can be used is to store all your reviews. So it's like a simple place to keep all of your reviews stored, and then wherever you've checked in. So if like say you've already reviewed a place, and the next time you go, you don't want to write another review. Maybe you just check in. So that's the difference for that feature. And then if you want to make a post, so this is a feature that I think you'll really like. So if you're looking for a specific type of food and you don't know where to go, you can ask your friends as a post. You could be like, hey, me and my wife are going out for our anniversary. Where should we go? We want Italian. And then the audience could respond back. All your followers could respond back and say suggestions of where you should go. And so that's something that's coming with the new build, is the ability to make posts. And then the thing that I like the most is the recommendations. So when you recommend something, that's a little bit stronger than a review, because you can write positive or negative reviews, but you only recommend the best. And so like to keep track of that and have it all stored on your profile in an easy recall situation, I think for users like you, I think it would be a great experience to be able to have everything that you have experienced in one place.
That's awesome, man. It's making me more excited for May 15th.
Well, I appreciate that.
Talk about some of your guys' favorite places to eat.
Oh, yeah. All right. So since we're both Vegas locals, I have to throw this restaurant out or put it in the mix of best all-time Vegas.
Okay.
All right. So there's a little place that you can still get taco sauce. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So Macayo's, it's been gone for what, 10 years now?
Yeah.
Or at least 5 years?
Yeah, something like that.
5 or 10 years it's been gone. That was one of my favorite places to eat growing up. I always look forward to going to Macayo's. I would always get, usually I would get the enchiladas or something along those lines. But I just loved it. It like the experience, the atmosphere, the taco sauce. It was great.
A lot of memories there.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite places that you think is iconic Vegas?
Iconic Vegas. Well, I would say I went to the oldest restaurant in Vegas, and to me that seems pretty iconic. But Bob Taylor's Ranch House.
Oh yeah, I've been
Pretty
there.
awesome,
It's
pretty
good.
awesome, yeah.
So at another place, Golden Steer.
Golden
Have you
Steer.
ever been there?
I did because I was appraising it. So
Okay.
the owner was trying to do some stuff, so I went in there. No one was in there, whatever, and so checked it out. But yeah, it's really awesome. It has that old feel, and the food is still awesome.
So that's what you used to do for a living, was you would appraise restaurants and other corporate entities, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So is that kind of how you got started in the foodie social media? Was like you were going to restaurants anyways, so you just try it while you were there appraising it, or?
Yeah, it was definitely already happening behind the scenes before I really started even knowing that there was like foodies out there. Is I was constantly going to a place where, let's just say, they were selling the business, or they were, a new lease was getting in place, and so they needed an appraisal done. And so I'd go in there, and so many times they'd be like, hey, try the food while you're here for free. And so I tried it. So one of the first places where that happened was called Los Tacos.
Los Tacos.
And they have 2 locations in town, and I was just like, these are amazing tacos. And so, yeah, that's kind of how, definitely part of the reason why it started.
Okay. So let's talk specific, like, I don't know if you call it a genre or brand of food.
Right.
But like, so like I'll just like list off like a type of food, and then you just tell me what restaurant comes to mind.
Let's go.
So Sushi.
Sushi, it's going to be Sushi Bomb.
Sushi Bomb?
It's located really close to me. It's definitely not the best in town, but it is really amazing. And especially from where it's located and the price, it's really good.
Okay, so I'm going to throw one at you that I doubt you have tried, but I think everybody in Vegas needs to experience. So Maxin Jazz. So this is a sushi club where they play live jazz. They have a live jazz band, and you just get entertained and serenaded while eating good sushi. And so it's not the best sushi either, but it's the best atmosphere for sushi. I would say
it's our favorite places aren't even the best sushi.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. So now let's do another one. Let's go ahead and let's do best place for Italian.
Italian. Okay, this one's tough, but for me, it's gonna be Amano's.
Amanos?
Yes.
Oh,
so
Amanos. They do a lot of social media.
They do, and they're a small little place right next to a gas station.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think much of them. I thought they were going to be overhyped when I went in, and I tried a couple things, and amazing. Yeah, it was
Have
amazing.
you tried their, what is it, like the bread bowl?
The Fat
pasta?
Baby.
Fat Baby,
amazing.
yeah.
It was amazing. I thought it was just for looks. So when I ordered it and I tried, I was like, okay, no, this is really good Italian.
Yeah, so it's not just Instagrammable food. It's good food. And I've tried it. So
Yeah.
I definitely, I tried one of those. After I saw it on Instagram, I definitely went and tried the Fat Baby.
All right, what's yours?
So mine is probably Nora's. But I really want to go try, what's it called? Shoot, I forgot his name. What's the old mayor's name?
Of the Oscar?
Oh, yeah,
Goodman?
Oscars. Yeah, there you go. So Oscars. So the restaurant's called Oscars, and it's named after Oscar Goodman. And it's a great place. I want to go try it. Like all the posts that I've seen of it look amazing. But anyway, like that's probably a place that I want to try. Let's go ahead with burger joint. So what's your favorite burger joint?
Okay, so this has been asked me a ton of times. You know, what's your favorite burger? What's your favorite burger? And there are plenty of places where I think of where I'm like, all right, hey, this is like maybe a really fun spot, or this is like just an amazing burger and it's going to cost you a ton. But like, I always end up with the same answer. I'm like, it's In-N-Out. It is just solid. It's good every time. It's super cheap.
The protein style double though.
It's In-N-Out, man. What about you?
So my new favorite, because it changes, because it's usually fast food. Because when I go for a burger, I usually don't go like fine dining burgers.
Yeah.
But I really liked Mr. Beast when I went. So that is named after Mr. Beast, the YouTube sensation guy. He created Mr. Beast burgers. And you can find it in Buca de Beppo, and it's cheap.
It's pretty good,
but it's really good. It's like it's priced really well, and it's pretty good for I guess you could consider it semi fast food, semi restaurant style burger. But what about Thai? What's your favorite Thai restaurant?
Okay, so Thai, I really got into Thai a couple of years ago, where I was going around, and I think I got to like 17 different places. And mostly I was just comparing like a curry and comparing the pad thai. And so the best one that I found is a hole in the wall off of DI in Durango called Nine Thai Kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, phenomenal. The best that I have found in town. Yeah.
So the one that I love, so I actually found out about this place so I work in insurance as my day job. On top of Dining Caddy, I do insurance. And so the president of my company took me and a new hire to lunch, and he took us to Nataya's Secret Kitchen. That place is bomb. It was really good Thai food.
That's my number 2, just to be fair. So yeah, it's good. Really good.
All right, I'll let you pick the next one we talk about. What brand of?
All right, what's your favorite pho?
Pho? There's one. It's called. I don't even remember the name. It's like eight pho over on Hualapai, North Hualapai. It's up by the 215 in Hualapai. in the Northwest by Centennial Hills. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Eight Pho, but it's really good. But yeah, what about you?
Okay, so before this, I thought I hadn't ever had pho. Like it's kind of on my list. Like I need to experience it more. But I found out that I tried it at one place. It doesn't specialize in it, but it was called Nabe Hot Pot. It's more of a Japanese spot. But anyways, apparently I did try their pho and it was good. But I would say that I still need to experience more.
It. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just talk food in general. What's a place that you've been dying to try that you haven't tried yet?
Place that I've been dying to try that I haven't tried yet. Okay, so this is the one that I put on my like to-go list, and I haven't gone yet, and it's called Good Pie Pizza. It's downtown. It always comes in like the top 10 pizza places, and so there's so many attempts that I'm like, all right, maybe this weekend I'll get it, but haven't yet. So that's on my list.
So for me, it's Mayfair Supper Club. Okay. So it's in the Bellagio. I've been dying to try that for the same reason that I love Max and Jazz and I love all these other places that have live music.
Yeah.
So for me, my big thing, like if the food is decent and the music is great, I'll be in heaven.
Yeah.
If the food is great and the music's great, even better. So, but
all right. So next one, next genre, favorite Mexican.
Favorite Mexican. All right. So my favorite Mexican was Macayo's until it was ripped out of our Las Vegas Valley. I think they still have one in Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken, or like Arizona in general. I think that's where they're headquartered, and I think they have one still. But I would say Eddie's because it's like Macayo's 2.0.
Yeah, it is.
So it's a good reminder of a blast from the past. But what about you?
So you can't go wrong with Roberto's, okay? It's underrated. They're everywhere. They're always open. They got whatever you need. But like that's more for me. But if I was like to recommend someone, I would say go to Juan's Flaming Fajitas.
Oh, that's a good
It's
place.
up there.
I like that place. Well, and those flaming fajitas, they put some huge flames on those fajitas.
do.
It's good. But let's talk tacos. What's your favorite taco stand?
Oh, this is so hard because like I have like a top that's like kind of, they kind of changed because every once in a while I'll go back and I'm like, oh, I don't know, is this place better? But my favorite taco spot right now is called the Taco Stand.
The taco stand.
Yeah.
So a very generic name, but they've got amazing tacos.
Yeah, they're from San Diego, so they got a location there, but just amazing. The shrimp taco is insane. Yeah.
So I've been there and I tried their shrimp tacos and it was really good. So I definitely would say that was a good place to go. But I actually found my favorite right now through following you on Instagram. So I went and I saw your post about Taco Bomb. Or Taco Bombs? Is it
Bomb tacos.
Bomb tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So Bomb Tacos, I just fell in love with that place when I went there. I tried the usual, like, everything on the menu, and it was all good. There wasn't a thing that I tried that wasn't delicious. So that would definitely be my favorite taco.
So what's funny is I went to both of them within like a few days of each other, and luck would have it, like Bomb Tacos was actually so much better that day, but I feel like I still got to go to the taco stand.
Yeah. Yeah. What have we not? Okay, so place that is low key. Do you have any in mind?
It's hard to figure out low key, but I don't know if you've ever heard of 888 Japanese barbecue.
888. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Okay, it's a little bit more low key, but oh my goodness, it is so good.
Yeah.
It is expensive. It is they have like Kobe that they'll give you and it is worth it, and it was like mind-blowing good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to think of like a low key place that all my spots are like music spots, like the Rouge Room. Nobody's probably heard of it just because it's brand new. They opened up in March. It's inside the Red Rock Hotel and Casino.
Okay.
They have the best Dover sole that I've ever tried. And that's saying something because like Dover sole is like top-notch fish. And it was the best I've ever had. The sauce that they put on it, the asparagus that went with it, it all complemented really well. It was by far the best food I've ever tried for the money. It is definitely expensive, but it was a piano bar, so like there's like or piano lounge, and so there's like a piano in the center, and then just chairs all in crimson red. It's just a really cool environment, cool place to go on a date night. That would probably, just because not very many people have heard of it because it's not well known yet. Rouge Room at the Red Rock. I would definitely suggest that.
That sounds awesome. All right, so one of the last spitfire questions for you.
Okay.
If you got a friend coming in town, he's like, hey, I want somewhere fun, I want something good, where are you sending them?
Area 15.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a fun place. You can eat there or get drinks, or you can just do live entertainment. It's a fun place to go.
That's awesome.
It's wild. What about you?
Smoke and Fire. It's actually pretty close to here. It's near the airport, and it is amazing. I've only been twice, and I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah?
They have a blueberry chicken slider, or a blueberry chicken sandwich for that matter, that is just insane.
Okay. So here you go. So this is my question. So we've talked about where we've liked to eat and Dining Caddy a little bit, and Instagram and Yelp and these other companies, and what's missing and what you'd like to see. What advice would you give me as somebody that wants to bring where and what to eat to the world? What do you suggest that we do to market the app? I don't know. That was a dumb question. Just cut that out.
It's not a bad question. It's a tough one.
It is tough. Let me rephrase it. So we've talked a little bit about Dining Caddy and the new features that are coming. Do you think there's a market for a social media foodie app?
I do. I think that we all eat. That's the cool thing about foodies or this and that is we all eat. And it would just be nice that if it could just be right at your fingertips that like, hey, I'm hungry. Can this app almost read my mind and tell me this is where I'm going to go? I'm going to like it. It's going to fit my price or budget or, review standards. And then it delivers it. Boom.
Yeah. And well, I think that's what Dining Caddy does. We definitely bring where and what to eat, and we help good food go viral. And so that's kind of our slogan is where and what to eat. And I think that you'll find as you continue to use it, especially with the new features rolling out, that there's going to be a lot at your fingertips that you've been looking for. I think you'll find a home in Dining Caddy.
I'm excited. Can't wait.